Hello there, my name is GREEdS and you're watching All About Good Music TV. Yeah! The poetry scene in London and outside London, I haven't really ventured as much outside. I would love to, and that's another thing I think I'm going to take on board next year, like action points. Venture outside to see what it's like. But definitely within my time here in the circuit, it's grown. Like I really, actually, hands down, I think that the poetry spoken word scene is working way harder than singers and rappers right now. Boy, I said it. But a lot of different people are saying it because we are working. Like, hands down, I think Comfort, hail her up, she's another poet. She clearly states in one of her pieces how promoters will try to book us for gigs and try not pay for gigs and stuff like that. But it just shows just how people at one point might have regarded poetry and spoken word artists. Like they might have not thought, yeah, you're just a filler. You'll pay the rapper, the singer, but nah, think about it. It's very different now. I think everyone's learning off of each other. Everyone's growing progressively off of each other. And it's beautiful. I'm up for writing sessions now. I sit creatively and see what people are doing and I'm moving off of their fuel. I'll say this much, next year, I'm happy to be part of a couple collectives. So it's not no longer kind of singular kind of things. People are batching up now and we're pushing it that much further. You see where I'm coming from? And collectively we're trying to see what ways we can take it. But I really think it's booming. I think we are grinding, man. I think everyone's just out there just pushing, and it's working so much more harder than any other genre, especially when it comes to videos. The amount of poetry videos I've seen in the last couple of months, insane. Releases in the last couple of months, nothing compared to how it was 2 years ago when I was here, still performing. And as an artist, I feel like creatively I've grown as well, and I think a lot of people are more open to welcome other artists to come and perform in their event nights as well. So we're doing good. Like, I think the art form is as big as you want it to be. If you really believe that you can get that person's attention, why not? What's stopping you? I can get your attention. I made Aura. I hooked up with a sick producer. Big up 90p. All it is the concept and the feel that you want to go for. And I'm saying to myself that me and P, we created something that is guaranteed to get someone's attention and push out there. This is the same kind of feel that people have been going with a long time. You see where I'm coming from? Like, I'll even sit down and watch Channel AKA at some points and I'll see some artists that might not regard as like the best, but they still work to get my attention. And they got my attention. They got my attention so much that they got a video on TV. You see where I'm coming from? And people might not even regard them as like great artists, if you know what I mean, but they still got your attention that much to end up on TV. So I'm like, if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe in the work you're doing to push to another level, then why are you doing it for? Where's your passion? How much attention do you want to drive in terms of that? And I'm still standing by my word. I'm like, you know what? My CD, whether it's next year, 2 years down the line, can stand next to your now 2000 or whatever hits. It can stand there because I believe in myself that I can push it there. I just need to creatively know what ways I can tap into there, but still keep to the purity of the work that I'm doing as well at the same time. So I don't lose myself in the process, if you know what I mean, which is very important.
Am I a protector as well as a lover? A friend as well as a supporter?
Samplers, right? So my samplers, Sampler 1 came out last year. Between June and August to promote my album launch. Sampler 1 is actually, I made all the copies and it was physicals, it wasn't downloads, but I made all the copies and I was out. I've still got the actual link still if I want to. I've got all my tracks and I can just upload it. So I still have the tracks. Maybe I should, yeah, maybe I should upload Sampler 1. I don't know, I'll think about it. Because everyone's always like, where's Sampler 1? Where's Sampler 1? I stopped promoting Sampler 1 last year. And it's something that on that note, I try my best every year to not go back. So I try to take it a step further with every year that comes. So last year was the album and Sampler 1. This year, I promoted the album still, but I didn't promote Sampler 1 as such. But I still talk about the album a lot more. So this year was samplers 2, 3, 4. I will, because I didn't have no album come out this year, so I need to get attention somehow. I need to work something else. Again, tap creatively into something else. So next year, we'll see what happens. I know we might get into that point soon. I know we'll get too much, but yeah, Sampler 1 is definitely around. I do have Sampler 1. I might just freeload and just get people just to download it and they will if they want to. And it's still just as good as 2, 3, and 4. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. So I've tried my best to make the samplers reflect my mood, how I feel. That's why when I done Sampler 2, it was in January. And then I noticed that Valentine's Day was coming up, and I called Nutty and I said, dude, we're doing Sampler 3 and it's going to be a Valentine's edition. And I set myself a deadline. Like I said, okay, I'm going to give myself a week or so. I'm going to do a week or so to write all kinds, and I'm going to work with songs that I really do feel like it's kind of, I'm going to try my best to do a journey. So I'm going to do that journey of that classic Valentine's, but I haven't got a Valentine's Vex mode. I'm going to do that yes, I'm in love mode, and I'm going to do that you really hurt me mode, and I'm going to do that love for all mode. You see where I'm coming from? And I really wanted to capture that in Sampler 3, which a lot of people still hold as their highest one out of all, because emotionally it takes you through various things. And I'm going to still try to keep some jokes. Sampler 4 was something completely different because there was a big gap between the two. And the interesting thing about Sampler 4 is I released it on my anniversary date for my album, which is August 23rd. And I said, you know what, this is when it's going to come out. And Sampler 4 is going to mark something new in terms of singles, in terms of somewhere to take it. Still keeping to the core of still teething people's beats and doing what I'm doing. But it's going to have something original on there that's going to let you know that I'm not really playing with where I'm trying to take it creatively within my journey. I'm not watching you. I'm not watching you. I'm just trying to take it to another level creatively with the work that I do. And this is what I can offer you. So I'm coming from. So with Sampler 4, I thought, yeah. Originally we had like 15 tracks, but we cut it to a 10. Still keeping everything concise in there. So when I say Sampler 5, I don't know what I'm going to do, but someone gave me a really good idea for Sampler 5, and I think I might take them up on that idea and work on it next year, but we'll see. What it means, it's interesting. October hit, Black History Month, yeah? Everywhere I go, Black History Month should be celebrated for 1 month, it should be celebrated all throughout the year, yeah? Fine. That triggered it. That Black History Month as a whole triggered the thought, and I'm like, I'm sitting down all my life. I was sitting down, square-eyed on my laptop. I was twittering or something like that and whatnot, and then something just hit me. It's like, what does being black actually mean to me? What does being black actually mean to me? And what people need to understand with what it means is it's not a dig. It's not at nothing. But it's very, if you listen to what it means, if you literally listen to what it means, it's from a very personal perspective. It's from my life and how it transcends outward, if you know, and how it just filters to everything around me that I'm noticing. So yes, Black History Month triggered the thought, but it's not specifically for Black History Month. It's not a piece for Black History Month, because if you notice, it got released in November, way after. So. But it's a very personal piece to me, and it touched on different areas from my personal life to actually what is being noticed around me. So how much do you value the colour of your skin? What do you actually think about when you're talking to this person and they're talking in all heap of slang or whatever it is? Even though slang is all good and everything, but what happens afterwards? What's the future saying? I'm not saying these things are terrible. I'm not saying it's a crime. But I'm just like, is there any kind of future thought with any of this stuff, how you are as a person right now? And I'm touching on certain issues on there that people are saying, do you know what? Yo, I don't know if I would have been brave to talk about that thing. And for them to say that to me, it shows me that I'm now at that stage where I'm comfortable enough to highlight these issues. Hence why when you're talking about artists that kind of make me work or kind of inspires me, that I thought about. I had to think about it this week, and I spoke about Dean and the fact that the issues that he's highlighted or what he's talking about is creating a whirlwind of responses, and it's creating that whirlwind of responses. There's the stuff that people won't necessarily think, nah, no one's that brave to talk about that thing, but this is the work that we're doing. Why are we going to be doing this kind of work why are we going to be writing, why are we going to be performing if we're not going to be flagging up certain issues, things that are deep within us? So what it means is very deep to me. What it means, I feel in and out.
What does being black mean to me? An African. Now, break this down between a population of 1 billion individuals, and I am a proud Nigerian. Eldest of a generation to a family only seen through pictures and TV screens, watching them grow virtually, hoping to hear me spiritually. How that silenced me. A country known for its corruption and fueled violence. Where cliche comments come as a norm. You strive to survive, every penny counts. Make with what you have.
Video is amazing. People are even cussing me. Don't call it a video, call it a short film. It's a short film. It's not video, it's a short film. I have to big up Pinboard, Shan and Jean. I have to big them up so much, and Mo, for their meat and their idea. So the way it worked was a very tight schedule. Hold tight, Ash, Remedy. Called him, I said, I've got this piece, it's gonna ruffle some feathers, I want a video for it. Imagine the first week in like kind of like October-ish kind of thing. By the second week I met up with the guys, we sat down, planned it. Third week they got their treatment to me, fourth week we filmed. Literally, that tight. It was very tight. So on the day of the film shoot, started mad early. I remember in the flat my mum cooked some plantain and yam. They would laugh if they was to see this, you know. Because we went out to get Chinese and whatnot. It was lunch. She cooked up all the food for them and everything, and it was a blessed day. It was really emotional because they got me at one stage. You had to ask everyone to leave the room just for me to film the scene with the box on my head and everything. Because he wanted me to scream. Literally, I had to warn my neighbors the day before to say, you know what, there might be some screaming happening, but don't worry, it's no crime. We're just shooting a video. Cool. But he wanted me to scream. He wanted me to show as much emotion for certain scenes, and the result of it came out beautifully. And I don't know. And I stuck on my guns. I want a poetry video, and I want it to be black and white. Two things. Before anything else, before any music, before anything, I want a poetry video. I want it to be very hard in terms of getting people's attention. And this is the piece. It could have been any other piece, but I'm like, you know what? It just had to be. To me, it just had to be that piece, and it wasn't more so for me. It was more for the message and more to put it out there in terms of this is my vent, this is what I'm saying. It's from my point of view, but I feel like it's trickling over so many things.
You see, I remember, I was 14. He pushed me aside, looked me square-eyed, and told me, fix up. You will have to work harder than they do. A racial man. No.
He was just stating home truths. And now I look around me, dying to ask, what thoughts spring to mind as you view the melanin on your skin? What is it that you think about? Do you think about why individually blacks are killing each other? Making the racist job the easiest, simply sitting back, heckling at the dishonesty, jealousy, and hatred, using money, drugs, and weapons, and we make of it what we will. You see, we are gullible.
I know great artists that have made music that's like kind of talking about these issues. And I'm talking from the likes of Fela Kuti, for instance, that will talk about these issues and talk about certain things regarding to government and put it out there. If we didn't have people like that, like these around us, what would it be like? We will be living in a society where people will think it, but they can't speak it, they can't preach it. And right now, in the society that we're living in, that freedom of speech stuff is there, it's in the air. You've got students writing because in terms of what's happening with these cuts and everything, and an increase in funds, and people will vent and will demonstrate exactly how they feel. Why shouldn't it be that with writers? Why shouldn't writers talk about these things now? Because we're in that state now that people need to highlight certain issues rather than talking about the materialistic things of what the fantasy is of what we're aiming to get to. I'm all for aiming to get to somewhere, but if you're going to talk about now, talk about it in the true sense of how it is.
And creates beauty. Love is nutrition. And as we grow new strands, we leave behind the dead roots that cause